Sarah thought she was doing everything right. She showered twice a day, used expensive perfumes, changed her clothes religiously, but people still stepped away from her in elevators. The problem? She was missing one crucial spot that 99% of people completely ignore. And today, I'm going to reveal exactly what that spot is, why it's the secret culprit behind persistent body odor, and how you can fix it in just 30 seconds. But first, let me ask you something that might make you uncomfortable. Have you ever caught someone's reaction to, well, you? That subtle nose scrunch? The way they take a step back during conversation? Maybe you've even asked your closest friends, "Do I smell?" And they awkwardly said, "No, you're fine." But something in their eyes told a different story. But here's what's really frustrating. You're probably doing everything the hygiene experts tell you to do. You shower every single day, sometimes twice. You use antibacterial soap, you scrub until your skin is red, you apply deodorant religiously, you brush your teeth, use mouthwash, maybe even carry breath mints everywhere. You wash your clothes, you use fabric softener, you've tried every deodorant brand, from the cheap drugstore ones to those expensive clinical strength formulas that promise 48-hour protection. Some of you have even gone to doctors, asking if there's something medically wrong. You've Googled, "Why do I still smell bad?" at 2 a.m., scrolling through forums where people share their embarrassing stories, hoping to find answers. And I know this because I've been there. 3 years ago, I was Sarah. I was the person people avoided in close spaces, and I had no idea why. Until I discovered something that changed everything. It was my dermatologist who finally opened my eyes. I was there for what I thought was a completely unrelated skin issue, and during the consultation, I finally gathered the courage to ask the question that had been eating at me for months. "Doctor, is there any medical reason why I might have persistent body odor?" She looked at me for a moment, then asked something that caught me completely off guard. "When you shower, do you clean behind your ears?" I laughed, and said, "Of course, I'm not 5 years old." Then she said something that made my stomach drop. "Show me how you do it." And when I demonstrated, she shook her head and said, "That's not behind your ears. That's on your ears. There's a difference, and it's probably the source of your problem." She explained that there's this tiny fold of skin right behind your ear, technically called the auricular crease, where dead skin cells, oils, and bacteria accumulate every single day. Most people never properly clean this area because they don't even know it exists as a problem zone. That night, I went home and really examined this area for the first time. And what I found, well, let's just say it explained a lot. Now, let me explain why this tiny spot behind your ears is such a big deal, and why ignoring it can sabotage all your other hygiene efforts. Think of your ear area like a hidden pocket in your favorite jacket. Every day, stuff accumulates in that pocket: lint, coins, receipts. If you never clean it out, eventually it becomes this gross collection of forgotten items. Your ears work the same way. Behind your ears, you have sebaceous glands. These are oil-producing factories that work 24/7. They're actually more active here than in most other parts of your body. These glands produce sebum, which is supposed to protect your skin, but when it mixes with dead skin cells, sweat, and environmental pollutants, it creates the perfect breeding ground for bacteria. Here's the kicker. The bacteria that love this environment produce compounds called volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. These VOCs have a distinct, unpleasant smell that can overpower even the strongest perfume or cologne. But it gets worse. This area is warm, moist, and rarely exposed to air circulation. It's like a tropical rainforest for bacteria. And because it's so close to your nose and mouth, these odors get dispersed every time you move, talk, or turn your head. You know that feeling when you hug someone and catch a whiff of something off? It's often not their armpits or their breath. It's this forgotten zone behind their ears, quietly sabotaging their entire hygiene routine. Now, you might be thinking, but I do clean behind my ears. And you probably think you do. But let me share the 3 reasons why 99% of people are actually missing this spot, even when they think they're cleaning it. First, the shower illusion. When you're in the shower, water and soap suds flow over this area, and your brain tricks you into thinking that means it's clean. But water alone, even soapy water, doesn't remove the buildup of oils and dead skin that accumulate in these creases. It's like thinking your dishes are clean just because you ran water over them. Second, the accessibility problem. Most people can't properly see behind their ears, so they rely on touch. But when your hands are soapy and slippery, you're not applying enough friction to actually remove the buildup. You're just moving it around. And third, this is the big one. Nobody ever taught us that this was important. Think about it. When you were a kid, your parents taught you to brush your teeth, wash your face, clean your armpits. But did anyone ever specifically teach you about the area behind your ears? Probably not. It's literally a blind spot in our hygiene education. And here's what makes this even more frustrating. Because this area is so close to your nose, you develop tolerance to the smell faster than anywhere else on your body. So while everyone else notices it, you're completely oblivious. I remember after my dermatologist opened my eyes to this, I started paying attention to other people, discreetly of course, and I could identify who was missing this spot just by being near them. It was like having a superpower I never wanted. But let's talk about what this really costs you, because it's not just about smell. This invisible problem creates ripple effects that touch every area of your life. In professional settings, people make judgments about your attention to detail, your competence, even your character based on personal hygiene. Unfair? Absolutely. Reality? Unfortunately, yes. That promotion you didn't get, that networking opportunity that didn't develop, sometimes it's not about your qualifications. In personal relationships, it's even more heartbreaking. Romantic partners who gradually become less physically affectionate. Friends who suggest meeting outdoors instead of in close spaces. Children who unconsciously pull away during hugs. And the psychological toll is real. You start second-guessing every social interaction. You become hyper-aware of people's reactions, constantly wondering if you're the reason someone stepped away or made a face. It chips away at your confidence in ways you might not even realize. But here's the incredible thing, and this is why I'm so passionate about fixing this problem, is so much easier than you think, and the results are immediate. When I started properly addressing this area, within 3 days, I noticed people responding to me differently. More eye contact, more comfortable conversations, more natural physical interactions. It was like I'd been walking around with an invisible barrier, and suddenly it was gone. All right, here's exactly how to fix this problem, step by step. And I'm going to give you 3 different methods, depending on your situation and preferences. Step 1. After your regular shower, while your skin is still damp, take a clean washcloth, and it needs to be clean, not the one you just used on your body, and put a small amount of gentle antibacterial soap on it. Step 2. Gently but firmly clean behind each ear, focusing on the crease where the ear meets your head. Don't just wipe, you need to create friction to remove the buildup. Spend at least 10 seconds on each ear. Step 3. Rinse thoroughly with clean water, then dry completely with a clean towel. Moisture left behind will just create more breeding ground for bacteria. Method 2. The weekly deep clean. This is your reset button for stubborn buildup. Once a week, use a soft bristled toothbrush dedicated only to this purpose with antibacterial soap to gently scrub behind your ears. The bristles can get into the creases better than a washcloth, removing dead skin and oil buildup that daily cleaning might miss. Method 3. Daily maintenance. This is what keeps the problem from coming back. After cleaning, apply a tiny amount of antibacterial gel or even a gentle toner with salicylic acid behind your ears. This creates an environment where bacteria can't thrive. Don't overdo it. We're not trying to irritate the skin, just maintain cleanliness. Now, a few important things. Don't use harsh scrubs or alcohol-based products. The skin behind your ears is delicate. Don't dig or scratch. Gentle friction is enough. And if you have sensitive skin, start slowly and see how your skin reacts. But while we're talking about hidden hygiene spots, let me share 3 other areas that people commonly miss because they often work together to create persistent odor issues. First, the belly button. I know, sounds obvious, but most people just let soapy water run over it rather than actually cleaning inside. Dead skin, lint, and bacteria accumulate here, creating what doctors call omphalolith, basically belly button stones. Gross, but true. Second, between your toes. Not just the bottoms of your feet, but literally between each toe. Moisture gets trapped here, especially if you wear closed shoes, creating perfect conditions for fungal growth. This doesn't just cause foot odor, it can contribute to overall body odor. Third, the back of your neck, especially at the hairline. Hair products, sweat, and dead skin accumulate here, and because it's often covered by hair or clothing, it doesn't get proper air circulation. Many people with persistent, mysterious odors find this is their culprit. The reason I'm sharing these is because body odor is often not from one source. It's a combination. But the area behind your ears is the most commonly missed and the most impactful because of its proximity to other people's noses during normal social interactions. Now, let me address some common mistakes people make when they try to fix this problem, because I've gotten hundreds of messages from people who tried what I suggested but didn't get results. Mistake number 1, over-cleaning. Some people think if a little cleaning is good, a lot must be better. They start scrubbing aggressively multiple times a day. This actually makes the problem worse because you irritate the skin, causing it to produce more oil to protect itself. Mistake number 2, using the wrong products. Harsh astringents, rubbing alcohol, or acne treatments designed for your face can be too strong for the delicate skin behind your ears. Stick to gentle, pH-balanced cleansers. Mistake number 3, not being consistent. This isn't a one-time fix. The bacteria and oil production that cause the problem are ongoing, so your cleaning routine needs to be ongoing too. Missing a few days can undo your progress. If you've been cleaning consistently for a week and still notice odor, consider these factors. Are you using clean washcloths and towels? Are you drying completely? Are you cleaning other hidden spots too? Sometimes the problem is combination odor from multiple sources. And if you've addressed all these areas and still have persistent odor, it might be time to consult a dermatologist. Occasionally, there are underlying skin conditions or medical issues that need professional attention. But let's zoom out for a moment, because while cleaning behind your ears is crucial, there are lifestyle factors that can make this problem better or worse. Your diet plays a bigger role than you might think. Foods high in sulfur, like garlic, onions, and cruciferous vegetables, can actually change your body's odor, including in this area. Not saying you should avoid healthy foods, but being aware helps you plan around important social events. Stress increases oil production throughout your body, including behind your ears. If you're going through a particularly stressful period, you might need to adjust your cleaning routine accordingly. Hair products can accumulate behind your ears, especially if you use gels, pomades, or heavy conditioners. Make sure you're thoroughly rinsing after using these products and consider your hairstyle. If your hair constantly covers this area, it's creating a more humid environment. And here's something most people never consider: your pillowcase. If you're a side sleeper, your ear area is in contact with your pillowcase for 6-8 hours every night. If that pillowcase isn't clean, you're basically marinating in bacteria and oils. Change your pillowcase at least twice a week, more if you have oily skin. Let me share some results from people who've implemented this, because the transformations are honestly incredible. Maria wrote to me 3 weeks after trying this. "I can't believe something so simple made such a huge difference. My coworkers have been more friendly, my husband is more affectionate, and I finally feel confident in close conversations. I had no idea this tiny area was sabotaging my entire social life." David, a sales manager, said, "My close rates improved within 2 weeks. I thought people were just being polite when they seemed uncomfortable during presentations, but apparently they were literally uncomfortable. This changed my career trajectory." And Sarah, remember Sarah from the beginning? She sent me a photo from her wedding 6 months later, surrounded by friends and family, everyone laughing and hugging. She wrote, "This seems dramatic, but you gave me my life back. I didn't realize how much I was holding back from people until I didn't have to anymore." Now, I want to be clear, this isn't magic. It won't solve every social or professional challenge, but it removes a barrier that might be there without you knowing it. And for many people, that barrier was bigger than they ever imagined. Once you've solved this problem, let's talk about keeping it solved, because prevention is always easier than correction. First, make this part of your daily routine, just like brushing your teeth. The same way you don't think about whether you should brush your teeth, you just do it. Cleaning behind your ears should become automatic. Second, do a weekly assessment. Once a week, really examine this area. Not just clean it, but look at it in the mirror. Are there any signs of irritation, unusual buildup, changes in skin texture? Catching problems early keeps them from becoming bigger issues. Third, adjust for seasons and circumstances. In summer, when you're sweating more, you might need to clean twice daily. If you're exercising intensely, if you're stressed, if you're using new hair products, be aware that these factors might require temporary routine adjustments. And consider your environment. If you work in a dusty or polluted area, if you live in a humid climate, if you wear headphones regularly, all of these can contribute to faster buildup behind your ears. Finally, think about overall skin health. Use gentle products, stay hydrated, get enough sleep. Healthy skin is naturally more resistant to bacterial overgrowth and better at self-regulating oil production.